What is it? What is a rod?
I don't know if it has anything to do with space because you're usually photographed close to the Earth, and it's just an unknown life form, they believe, that moves at such high speed that no one's really been able to see what it really looks like, and no one's been able to capture one except on videotape. And when they slow it down, it looks like a long stick with wings, with multiple wings, and it moves at
like a hummingbird.
Yeah,
like
to the
like
100th
10
power,
times. Yeah.
And I think I saw one before the phenomenon even hit.
Where'd you see it?
Saw it up by Henry Hudson, up on the trail.
How old were you?
Probably in my late 20s.
What were you doing up at Hudson in your late 20s?
The wife used to like to walk.
So you just go walking and shit?
Go walking on the trails.
That's one of those weird, unexplained, or like one of those things that I've never heard before. Where I'm like, really? You just don't seem like the guy who would go out for a walk on Hudson Field.
I wouldn't go if I would never come up with the idea, hey, let's go for a walk.
She was like, get your ass in the car. We're going to Hudson Field to walk and look for rods. So you're like, all right, whatever you want.
Got a rod right here. You don't got to take a walk. Did I, off topic, but it's still on strange things, did I ever show you that footage of the Devils Stanley Cup Finals Game 3 in Dallas when there's something that comes on to the ice?
What is it?
It's the most bizarre thing. I'm watching the game live, and I see something that is light, white, or some sort of ball, like a color.
Mm-hmm.
It comes on the ice and moves very weird and strange. And I'm watching it live, and I saw that, but I was recording the game as well, so I could just have it just to keep in case they won. And I went back later that night, and I remembered, like, I wanted to rewind it to see what it was, and when I slow it down and pause it, something flies onto the ice and comes towards Brodeur in goal, and then goes really fast away from him, and then back towards him, although nothing is in its way, and then just goes off screen again.
Now, did they mention it in the commentary?
Nobody mentions it, and I've showed it to other fans back in 2000, and I was like, I show it to them when it's live, like while it's playing. I'm like, did you say anything? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, watch it again when I slow it down. And they're like, look at that. And they're like, what the fuck is that?
Is it not? It's not like a flashlight. Somebody had a flashlight in the stands, one of those little laser pointers or something like that. How big is this ball of light?
I can't even describe it. It doesn't even look like light, but it's just this odd form that comes and moves, and then it happens again during the game as well. And like when they're around the boards, it goes around the boards real quick, but very, very quick.
So do you?
I thought it could have been a rod.
A few weeks before, there was that fucked up shark that they caught as well, like in Japan. Did you ever see that?
No.
It looked like dinosaur shark. It was just like this really fucking huge, gnarly shark that was like...
They had never captured anything like that before?
They'd never, like nobody'd seen it before.
So why
and
were
it
you
actually,
so perplexed when I said that it's on some sort of unearth, some sort of insect?
Why was I?
Yeah.
This dude's talking about a prehistoric like shark. It's still classified as a shark. This rod thing, they don't have a classification for it. Yet. Once they snag one and dissect it, they'll be able to look into it and be like, they're attracted to ice and really good goalies.
Will I be able to get a
Well, although it did look like a rod. I said it moved like a rod. This thing on the tape at the game did not look like a rod.
But what does it look like? What does a rod look like in your?
Saw one.
No. But I guess
I think he saw something different.
I saw a UFO. I think. I don't think I saw a rod.
How low to the ground was it? Your UFO.
My UFO? I mean, it was, I don't know, like 500 feet. It was flying in the air. Like, at first we thought it could have been an airplane, and then it just did some fucked up shit.
Oh, so it was really high.
Something was high that day, but it wasn't a fucking spaceship. It was this baked motherfucker who's just like, I'm seeing UFOs.
A UFO, not a rod, though.
But that's all I've been saying that along. I saw a UFO. I don't know. I've never heard of a rod until fucking...
You have not been saying that. The reason you're sitting here on mic right now is because you're like, I've seen a rod. I'm like, get on mic, dude. Tell the story.
I said I saw a UFO, not a rod. Because I'd never heard of a rod until you'd mentioned it just now. But a UFO...
You never heard the term?
I've never heard the term before, rod. What I saw was UFO.
Before you saw the doc, have you heard of the rod?
I've heard of the rod.
Okay.
I've heard of it, and I've heard people speak of the rod. I've never known any. I mean, I've seen people like talk about it in clips on UFO shows, but I never knew anybody that saw a rod until you said it, and then this dude said it, but now he's fucking rescinding and backing up and shit. Like he's sitting in front of the fucking Senate House subcommittee on alien fucking investigation, and he's just like, it got to me, the black hats got to me. And suddenly he's like, oh, perhaps it wasn't a rod, it was just a boating accident. And suddenly you're fucking backing up. But in this day and age, we can't find Osama bin Laden.
Oh, we could find him. As a matter of fact, if we're going in and getting him, that's different.
Now you're taking it into a different conspiracy theory territory where like, oh, the government knows where he is. They just don't want him yet.
Oh, I think they want him, but they're just unwilling to step on the toes and cause the...
Really? You don't think so? You don't think it'd be worth it? Whose toes are going to step on? Pakistan's? Where is he supposed to be? Pakistan. Maybe hiding in Pakistan? You really think they're that afraid of stepping on Pakistan's toes? In order, the negative of, like, invading a foreign country where we haven't given permission.
I don't believe they really know exactly where he is. I think they probably have a good clue what area he's in.
Just think what a huge boon that would be to the Republican Party to be able to have to George Bush be able to trot that dude out and hold fucking go to the presidential address.
Conan.
Oh, totally, where he just cut off Fulsa Doom's head. But he's on TV, the ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, and he's just like, my fellow Americans. He pulls out a paper bag and lifts that dude's fucking head up. People would go ape shit. There would be Republicans in the White House for the next fucking 100 years.
In what way do you mean ape shit? Do you mean good way or a bad way?
I think, depending on when you did, there would always be a bunch of fucking grousers and naysayers being like, that was uncalled for. But fucking, like, on the most primal level, as the country that was the focus of, the September 11th attack, George Bush pulls fucking Osama bin Laden's head out of a fucking paper bag on live TV. Oh my God! It would be astounding. Everyone would be like, even the most.
It would be better than the moon landing, which I don't believe in either.
Hands down. The most hard-hearted cynic, the most hardcore liberal would start to be like, I don't know, maybe abortion is wrong, because it was just like, he did it. He got him, and he cut his fucking head off. Not only did they get him, and we didn't hear, or they killed him in a cave. They cut his fucking head off, and the president's holding it in his fist like Conan on live TV.
What about the rest of the world? What do they think of our leader who holds a decapitated?
I mean, the rest of the world, we're so down the food chain at this point. We're not really held in very high regard. I don't think that would make matters any worse.
Do you think, though, that they might need to at least prepare the American audience for that? Like, the president might come on tonight and do this, or you think I
think. Oh my God! If they just. Well, that's the problem in the information age, is like you would know about it before it happened, because they would leak it out, they would do a press release teasing it or flat out saying what was going to happen. But if they didn't, if they just ignored everything that the media has done over the last 10 years in terms of skewing news into infotainment or something like that, and it was just a presidential address, and I'll grant you that maybe they don't want to disturb kids, so at the beginning of the presidential address, right before, and we all know it's going to happen whenever they do the presidential address, that the program is going to be interrupted and shit like that. They usually do a news report beforehand about what's the president going to talk about. He's probably going to address this. But right before it went on, right before the seal comes up and shit like that, they put up that warning where they're like, due to gruesome imagery or disturbing imagery, you might want to clear the room of small children. Parental guidance suggested. And then they'd put up the seal. And then fucking he's there, and that's all he says is, my fellow Americans. And he pulls a fucking a greasy paper bag onto the desk. Looks like doesn't even pull it out of a nice cooler, like an igloo or something like that. Just pulls like a bag man, like he bought a fucking 2 pounds of fucking Chiba. Puts it on a desk, looks like it's passed so many fucking hands and shit. Reaches in, and it looks like it had a bunch of French fries and it was all greasy. Pulls out that fucking head and just holds it and stares at the camera. Oh my God, dude! Nothing would be more riveting, fascinating. There would never be another moment in TV history that would be as fucking impressive as that to me.
What do you think that would do to his popularity polls in America, though? Do you think
shoot to the sky?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if he does that, I don't care who you are, man. It's just like he said he was going to do it, even if you don't agree with his politics.
And you don't agree with the presentation. You might not agree with the presentation.
You're like, Jesus, there are other ways. You could have just told us you got him, showed a little footage. I don't know, man. I think that would just, like I am so not a Republican. I'm not conservative in the least, but it wouldn't make me switch and go Republican, but I would just be like, that is the badass move. That is my respect for this man.
Really accomplished.
Oh my! Just him staring at the fucking camera, and there's like 20 seconds of dead air. Like you don't even hear.
A couple of flies around.
Oh my! And he's just looking at the fucking camera and shit like that. Doesn't do anything more freaky than that. That would be freaky enough and shit.